What's up, everyone? It's your girl who is, in fact, Dad Aspie, and I know it's been a while. There was a lot happening, and I have apparently some, I guess, catching up to do. I don't know how to even start with this. Firstly, if I didn't say it already, hope you guys are having a really good new year, and it's going better than my 2019 has been going so far. It's been a little bit of a train wreck, but I'm finally starting to get to the light at the end of the underground tunnel, so to speak. So there's that. Well, first of all, one of the reasons why my 2019 started off in a bit of a shithole is because of personal family things and some realizations I guess I had about growing up and I should say lack of emotional connection that I had when I was growing up, in the sense of like the people who should have been giving me that emotional connection didn't. I don't know how specific I really want to get into this. I might save this for another time, but the short story is that there were things that should have been addressed when I was growing up and should have been taken care of, and same with me and my siblings, that were ignored, brushed under the rug, and essentially we were in situations where we were allowed to suffer and be miserable. Even though we had expressed, that we're, not happy or not okay with a situation, and that just kind of, it wasn't really heard, or if it was heard, it just went, straight outward, and it sucked. And it was a lot of realizations that, one, I guess I had been depressed about for a while, and two, it just made me really angry. Not completely rage angry, but just angry and salty and bitter, and it was, having a shit travel experience was not helping that at all, and basically I was trying to keep myself from doing that mental nosedive to a total crash into the ground. On top of that, we had bed bugs, which if you've ever lived in New York City for long enough, or you've heard enough stories, it sucks. Those fuckers are really hard to get rid of, and you basically have to live out of garbage bags for a little bit, and dear fucking god, it's annoying, and it complicates things more if you have pets, or, you also have to do, twice the amount of laundry as usual, and on top of that, having, someone come in to, douse your room of chemicals or whatever that's poisonous to bed bugs. So there's that. We even have, a little, basically what I call a salt circle for bed bugs. It's, diamitris, I don't know, I never know how to pronounce that word. Basically, it's crushed up seashells that fuck up bed bugs if they try to leave. It creates a barrier that keeps them in, which is partly why I call it a salt circle for bed bugs. But I don't think it was necessary for me to explain that. I don't know. But even with all this shit, there has been some positive things this year so far. One of them being my new tattoo. I don't know how I can turn my arm to see it. There we go. That. I am very happy I got that, and I already want another one, but I gotta wait a while because this whole bedbug situation put a massive financial dent in my funds. So I gotta wait on that for a while, but that's also okay. It gives me time to think about it, because there's a couple of other ideas I have. I also feel like a lot of my tattoos may, if I get more of them, may end up being a lot of video game themed things, which is kind of cool. But with this one, I figured I'd get something from Undertale that I resonated with pretty strongly, so I'm very happy about that. I also worked a big Scholastic chess tournament with a bunch of the kids that me and my workplace work with, and some of the kids did really well. We had a couple of them get, trophies, medals, even one of our teams took second place in a section, so that was pretty cool. And one of the positives about this bedbug situation is that it forced me to address a cleaning issue. I didn't want to show you guys before because it was embarrassing, but it's a lot better. As you might notice, there's a lot more space. It's not pretty, I know, but I can utilize the space differently, and there's also more space for me to utilize. And my partner, of course, but yeah, it's, that's a positive that came from it, and I basically got to organize a bunch of shit, and I feel a lot better now that I did that. I'm pretty sure that may have been contributing to some of my loss of sanity, but I mean, at least it's done now, so that's good. And basically with this entire situation, we're taking it one step at a time, and as you do with life, and you kind of have to. Otherwise, I do have a couple of ideas of what I want to accomplish with this year. One of them being, I recently set up for Twitch. I would love to be able to start streaming on there at some point. I even want to do a charity live stream, potentially in April, like the beginning of April. And I want to look into like some organizations. I'm choosing April in the beginning because I want to find a charity that's good for autism research, particularly anything for women, and maybe the LGBT plus community that are on the autism spectrum. So if you guys have any suggestions of charities like that, feel free to shoot a comment, tweet at me or whatever, and I will look into that. Just know I will not accept anything that is related to Autism Speaks because I do not support that organization at all, and I don't know why anyone would. That's a whole video I can get into, and I do plan on talking about my reasons why I'm not supportive of that organization at all, but I don't like it. And I don't like some of what they stand for and what they're trying to present or accomplish. It's on the internet. There's a few reasons why people in this community are not supportive of that at all. And circling back to the bedbug situation real quick, that kind of made me wonder what makes someone officially a New Yorker. Because I've heard that born and raised New Yorkers are obviously New Yorkers because they were born and raised in New York City. I've also heard living in New York for 5 years, living in New York for 10 years. What kind of experiences have you had in New York City? For me personally, I've been living in this city about 8 years now. Besides like a couple months that I was away for the summer between school years, but other than that, I've been living in this city for about 8 years. I've now dealt with bedbugs twice. Have I openly cried on the subway? I don't know about openly, but I think I've cried on the subway before, so that's halfway there, I guess. I've never been kicked in the face by the Showtime performers, but I have seen several Showtimes within this long span of time. I've seen my share. And there's maybe other things that would make someone a New Yorker, but I'm curious about what you all think. I want to hear from New Yorkers, non-New Yorkers, immigrants, transplants, anybody. Like, what is your opinion on that? What do you guys think makes someone who's living in New York a New Yorker? You can leave any answers in the comments, or I may start a Twitter thread or something like that, basically asking this same question, because I'm curious about what you guys are thinking on that front. Maybe one of them is automatically placing blame on New Jersey, as my partner pointed out at some point, which I actually think is kind of funny. This year has so far been a fucking disaster, like garbage fire. But I think, like I said before, I'm finally starting to see the light at the end of this tunnel. So what's good is that I think the worst of this situation in particular, with everything of this year and my sanity and mental health, all that, I think it's finally starting to really get better, and I'm honestly feeling happier than I've felt in a while, and that feels good. Not just like because of the space and everything. This is definitely helping. There's that. I guess there's something I'm willing to let go of personally, and it does have to do with my family. as far as, I want to say emotional connection, but it's more like lack of emotional connection towards specific people in my family. And again, that's something I will likely go into maybe next week. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure how much I want to share about it right now, and it's personal, and I do want to keep honesty with you guys. But at the same time, I don't want to overshare and drive you away with oversharing, and I guess that's a common insecurity. But yeah, it's there's a combination of things right now that is making me feel a lot better about my future, I guess, or what's next. Oh, and I just remembered, on this idea of live streams, I do want to start Let's Plays, and I'm already looking to contact one of my friends to potentially do one with them, and I'm super excited about it, and I hope that works out, because that would be a lot of fun, and I would love to start doing that more. I don't have my dream set up yet, but that's, again, one step at a time. I'm going to work towards that, and hopefully I do eventually get that. And I hope you guys are all having a good start to your 2019, and hopefully it's not a raging fire of garbage. So I really hope you guys are doing well. Everyone's doing well. I hope if things are shit for you right now, I'm sorry, and I hope that they get better soon. And hope that you have a good support system, or if you can't find one, does anyone have any, like, hotlines, I guess, that anyone could call? That would be a really good idea. And I'm happy to keep interacting with everybody and show support towards all of you. So, if you want that, I'm happy to throw a little, like, heart your way or something. Yeah. But thank you all so much for keeping up with all of this, and any support that you've shown me is seriously appreciated. I love every bit of it. And yeah, that's all I got for now. So thank you all for watching. If you like this, my name is Laura, and I am Dad Espy. If you didn't like this, I'm the Connor Army, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.